What's up, loves? Welcome back to my channel. My name is JACQUE-BELLE. If you're new here, so in today's video, I'm gonna be doing foundation, highlight, and contouring. So if you want to see how this pretty look was achieved today, y'all, stay put, watch this video to the end. But before we do all of that, if you're not part of the family yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so you become one of us. And also smash the bell, that way you'll be notified each time new video goes up. So, yeah, so today we're gonna start off with, I'm using my Glow Up Beauty Primer to do my face some justice. I will do like 3 drops of this. So now I'm gonna move on to my primer again. I'm using this NYX Hydrotouch primer. NYX Hydrotouch primer, y'all. So that's what I'm using for my primer today. Yeah, so I hope you guys have been like doing your skincare routine. If you watch my previous video, you need to incorporate some skincare into your. So like y'all can see the breakout from here and there and some few spots. So today I'm gonna color correct those spots before I use my foundation, because I want to color correct those spots. And I'm using my L.A.girl Pro Concealer today, and this is the orange to do that. So I'm just gonna hide those blemishes before I go in with my foundation. So I'm just doing it like only around the areas where I know I have blemishes. Usually I don't have too many blemishes anyway, but my skin is breaking out. So I am going to do this. And plus, for those of you who want to color correct, I've never really like done a color correcting tutorial because I don't have too many stuff to color correct. So this is like an opportunity for you guys to see. So basically you just do it only where you have those blemishes. You don't do it all over your face. So that's it. I think those are the only areas where I have those blemishes. So now I'm gonna move on to my foundation. I'm using my MAC foundation from MAC in NC 55. So I'm gonna apply that on top of the color correcting concealer. Sometimes you can let it like dry, or you can blend it with your fingers. The color correction concealer, sometimes you can blend it with your fingers before apply your foundation. The bottom line is your foundation goes on top of the color correcting concealer, not the other way around. So for my concealer today, I'm gonna be using the Camo, the 65 Camo concealer, and I'm using the shade Walnut, the 10 Walnut in the Deep Espresso for my highlights. Now, y'all know whenever you want to do your highlights, if you watch my previous video, you're gonna use a concealer that's like 3 to 4 shades lighter than your skin tone or whatever foundation you have on. Or if you're actually concealing, you can use a foundation that is like 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone on all the foundation you have on. So today I'm gonna be using this 2 shades. You can see obviously this is lighter than this. So this is like 3 to 4 shades lighter than this foundation that I have on. And this is like 1 to 2 shades. It's almost a perfect match for this foundation because I'm gonna use this to conceal underneath my eyes only, and I'm gonna use this to highlight the T-zone area. So that's, I mean, whenever you're doing your highlights. So today, since we're doing the foundation, highlight, and contouring, I just feel like I should go over this again, even though we've gone over it already. But like, yeah, if you remember. So if you're concealing or highlighting, just remember the difference. So I'm gonna go in with this deep espresso first underneath my eyes because I'm just gonna use this to conceal. And I'm gonna use a beauty blender to blend this out. And this just stays like underneath my eyes. It doesn't go like, so this is just gonna be underneath my eyes. And I can take it over my eyelid just for the sake of like getting my eyelids ready for my eyeshadow. It kind of like priming it. That's it, like it's just underneath my eyes. I did not take it anywhere else for concealing. Now that I'm going to do the actual highlight, this is where I'm going to use this all over my T-zone area because I want to go in for like more. So you can see that for yourself how this shade is, they're both the same concealers, but this shade is just like lighter than the other one. And I'm gonna use the same beauty blender to blend it out. So usually in my previous video, whenever I blend my concealer, I take it like all the way up just because I want my face to appear a little wider because I tend to have a small face. But today, I'm not gonna do that today. So you see the highlight is pretty visible. like all the inner portions of my face lighter than the outer portion of my face. So now we're gonna move on to contouring. So whenever I do my contour, I use like a concealer. It can either be a foundation or concealer. It just depends. So I use both, but I make sure the shade is gonna be a shade darker than the foundation I have on. That's just me. Some people going for a shade lighter. It just depends on the way you want your makeup to look. For me, I like when my concealer is darker. That's just me. But whenever I use a shade that is like a shade darker than the foundation I'm wearing. So now I'm gonna use this concealer from Covergirl and the shade in the shade Deep Espresso to contour. And you remember the rule of thumb when contouring, like just look at the top of your ear and then bring it like down. That's just the way I've been doing it and it works great. So, and because this is a liquid product, I'm gonna blend it like almost immediately. Because if you let it like stay, it's gonna like dry off. So that's my contouring. And I wanna use this brush, the bottom of the beauty blender to blend it out. And then I'm gonna use a small brush for my nose contour. So that's it for my contour, and I'm gonna use the Covergirl bronzer to add a little warm into my skin, and I'm using a powder brush. So next I'm gonna use my loose setting powder from Black Radiance to set my concealer in place. And I'm going with the shade Banana to do that. For my setting, I'm gonna use another powder brush to just dust off any excess. And I'm gonna use my powder from E.L.F. to set my whole face in place all over where I use my foundation and concealer, and just working this all over my face. So next we're gonna move on to the blush. And I'm using the nude palette and nude highlight and contour from JACQUE-BELLE, and I'm gonna go with this shade for my blush today. It's right here, kind of like a light orangey, peachy, whatever. But that's what I'm going for my blush today. So that's it for my blush. That's a pretty blush right there. So I'm gonna move on to my highlight, and I'm using my warm-up bronzer 4-in-1 palette, the bronzer, the highlights and stuff, if you remember. And I'm gonna use this. So for my highlight, and I'm gonna do a reverse contour. I'm using my Maybeline Fit Me loose finishing powder for that purpose. You guys should know by now, right? Back. So we're gonna move on to the eyes and let that sit for a little bit. Then we can finish up with the face. And for the eyes, I'm using my colorbook from Revolution with my smoky eye palette from Profusion. And I already primed my eyelids while I was doing my makeup. So I'm gonna go with this shade on my outer V in my crease area. So before I go any further, I'm gonna just use the powder brush and then just like then I'm gonna use my Skindanivia makeup finishing spray to set my whole face. We're gonna continue with the eyes. So next I'm gonna go in with this deeper shade from my Revolution palette on top of that Dulce. It doesn't do a cord. Just to define that a little. So next I'm gonna use this matte white shade right here on my inner crease. And on top of that white, I'm gonna add a little shimmery shade. It's kind of like white, but shimmers a little. And I'm gonna go with this other shade right here on top of that. So for my inner corners, I'm gonna go with this shimmery gold shade, just like right there. I'm gonna go back in with my blending brush on top just to with the same shade that I used for my outer V in the crease. Just define that a little and I feel the good colors together. So that's it for the eyes. And I'm gonna move on to my eyeliner. And I'm using my waterproof eyeliner from Wet n Wild. Now we're gonna do the waterline. And I'm using my eyeliner gel, as always, for my waterline. Yo, my eyes pretty. And my eyes looking nice and pretty. So we're gonna move on to the lips, and I'm using my lipstick palette still from Profusion, and that's what it looks like I've been using. So we're gonna see what shade to do on the lips today. I'm gonna go with the mulberry first and see. So next I'm gonna go with the lighter shade at the center, like this one, the center of the pink. I'm gonna use my highlight to Alright guys, this is the final look of this tutorial. I hope it was super helpful. Everything, all the products used in this video will be linked down in the description box below. Feel free to check it out, y'all. Check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, as always, do not forget to give your girl a massive thumbs up. Also subscribe to this channel and also hit the bell. That way you'll be notified each time new video goes up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.